What's up, guys? Shuckle King here with my round of 64 matchup for Brawl for All round 4 against Jake. Now, I was supposed to have a round of 72 matchup, but my opponent had a forfeit, I think because they were sick or some excuse. Unfortunate for that. I would have liked to play that game, but I'll take the win and get to the round of 64. This team, as you can see in the corner, from most threatening to least threatening, are Ferrothorn, Mega the Gallade, Porygon 2, Latias, Alamamola, Stunfisk, Sneasel, and Clefable. And I do have Clefable as the least threatening Pokemon on his team, because I do have a Celesteela, I have a Registeel, I got a Venusaur, I have a Scolipede. So actually, I don't really think Clefable's going to do too much. Now, I'm pretty confident that he's going to bring it just because of how versatile Clefable is, but it's not going to be in a defensive capacity, because a defensive capacity gets wrecked by a good portion of my team. So the 3 pokes that I had initially going into this match that were pretty good, maybe even 4, as you heard what I said before. Celesteela is just so good because really none of his threats are too offensively threatening to Celesteela, I guess, besides if Mega Gallade gets up to +2 attack. Stunfisk does damage with electric attacks, but it's not going to do a ton, honestly. And if like a special defensive set, Stunfisk can't get past me. So Celesteela does well there. Registeel, for similar reasons. It takes on Latias very well. It takes on the Porygon 2, Alamamola. It'll get worn down by a Leech Seed from Ferrothorn, so I gotta watch out for that. Registeel is not the greatest answer to a Mega Gallade either, but I have ways to get around that, hopefully. And Scolipede. Scolipede is a way to get around that, as Mega Horn or Poison Jab are going to do a ton of damage to it. Scolipede outspeeds his whole team except for Sneasel. Obviously, if I get a Protect up, then I do outspeed it. I need Sword Stance to do a decent amount of damage to his team, but I should be able to get a Sword Stance up pretty easily against this team, because his team is fairly passive. I mean, he has like ways like Alamamola, Scald, Burns, or Stunfisk Paralysis, but I should be okay with Scolipede to set up the +2. So this will be my team here. The first Pokemon I have, no spoilers, is Celesteela with some physically defensive investment. This will allow me to take on the Sneasel pretty easily, even after Rock. Same with the Mega Gallade. I have a little bit of speed to outspeed Alamamola, though it doesn't make too much of a difference. Just general speed creep. And the rest in special defense investment to take on like the Latias very easily. And that would really be the only thing. I guess an offensive Clefable as well. Take a Flamethrower or Fire Blast from. Z-Fly is to hit the Mega Gallade and OHKO, so it's not a problem. I should be able to take any +2 hit from full with Celesteela. Flamethrower is to hit the Ferrothorn to 2 KO it even with a minus special attack nature. Iron Head to hit the Clefable. Next I have Registeel, who's just max physically defensive. Should be able to take a non-boosted hit from Gallade. I'm not going to be taking a +2 hit, but I'll live a +1 and hopefully get a Toxic off Protect, stall it out a little bit so I can revenge kill it with other Pokemon I have on the team. This will also be my Stealth Rocker. I don't take on the Ferrothorn whatsoever. Don't really take on the Clefable either. But I take on the rest of his team pretty well with this set. So hopefully it doesn't work. This will be the first matchup I do bring Registeel to. Next Pokemon I have is Scolipede. Max attack, basically max speed, outspeed, and Latias and Mega Gallade because I don't have Protect on this set. Spikes, Toxic Spikes, both of them should be pretty good in this matchup just because his only hazard removal is Latias. And Scolipede can OHKO it with a Mega Horn, so he's got to watch out for that. And then Poison Jab is there to hit the Clefable. And I guess it's a more accurate move. I want to hit the Mega Gallade for guaranteed damage. So the 3 Pokemon to round this core out, I have a bulky, nasty plot Mismagius. Now Mismagius, even with no speed, allows me to outspeed all his bulkier mons. I guess the problem with this with Jake's draft is he has a very high difference in speed tiers, with I think Alamamola being around 60-ish, 65, and then the next fastest thing is Mega Gallade and Latias at base 110. So I can run a no speed on this set and still outspeed all his bulkier mons, while having more HP to take on his faster threats like Latias and make a Gallade better. Shadow Ball, Nasty Plot basically hits his entire team except for the Porygon 2, which I have Hidden Power Fighting for, does like 40-ish% at +2. So with Toxic Spikes and Spikes from Scolipede, I should be able to 2-hit KO it. And Mystical Fire is to OHKO the Ferrothorn. Next I have Mega Venusaur, as I said, was another good Pokemon I have. This is a very similar spread to Mismagius, in that it's very offensive with max HP and basically max special attack. There's 3 moves, hit everything on his team fairly hard. Especially in the combination of Toxic Spike or Spikes up on the field. I should be pressuring Porygon 2 a lot. Latias doesn't want to take a Sludge Bomb. Mega Gallade doesn't want to take a Sludge Bomb. And they should not be able to 1-hit KO me back in return. Hidden Power there, again for a Ferrothorn. And the last Pokemon I have is Weakness Policy Dragonite. Now I don't have a hazard removal on this team. So I got to make sure I set up with Dragonite before Stealth Rocks are up. That'll be the whole crux of the set because I have Weakness Policy. Just give me +2 attack when I get hit with a special effective move, which I feel like is pretty likely because Mega Gallade will probably have Ice Punch, Porygon 2 will probably have Ice Beam, Latias with Stab, Stunfisk might have Hidden Power Ice to hit Dragonite, or it could have Thunder Wave, so I gotta watch out for that. Clefable obviously will hit me with special super effective damage. So this spread, the speed allowed me to outspeed Latias or Mega Gallade at +1 speed. I don't outspeed the Sneasel, but if I'm at +1 speed, an Adamant Extreme Speed will 1-hit KO the Sneasel after rocks. Superpowers there to hit the Ferrothorn and the Porygon 2, so I'm at +3, I killed either one of them. And Dragon Claw is there just for general damage. I don't really deal with the Clefable at all of this set, but really my Celesteela, Scolipede, Mismagius, and Venusaur all handle Clefable pretty well, so I'm not too threatened by that. So this is the team. Let's see how it does in the match. Alright, here we are for the battle against Jake, and as we can see, he does not bring the Sneasel, which is very nice. So that way my Dragonite can do a little bit more damage in this game. Celesteela does a little bit of better this matchup. Gallade still a problem because it 2-hit KOs with close combat, so I gotta watch out for that. He does not bring the Alomomola, which is cool, though it was pretty hard walled by Mega Venusaur, so that might have been something he didn't want to happen. But I did expect a Stunfisk. I expect an offensive Clefable to come in this matchup. My lead is going to be Scolipede, just to try to get Toxic Spikes up, because it hits the Porygon 2. It'll wear down the Stunfisk, so Dragonite can sweep later on, or Celesteela can wall his team easier. And if he leads with Mega Gallade or Latias, I should be able to do a massive chunk of damage. And once I get one of those 2 things weakened, he's not going to have too much of an offensive presence in this game. So I'm going to lead with Scolipede, and he leads with Latias, which is great. I'm able to OHKO it with Mega Horn first turn, which is very nice. But he has the Tanga Berries, so he actually lives the hit and kills me with Psychic. This kind of stinks, but Dragonite should be in good shape because I needed a little bit of chip for Dragon Claw to kill, so this is chip for sure. And he's going to have a hard time recovering, especially because I go to my Mismagius here, and I could kill it with a Shadow Ball. But I do go for the Nasty Plot, predicting the switch, because I figured that Latios would be pretty good to take on the Dragonite and the Venusaur. So I figured he was not going to be unaware, and Shadow Ball does a ton of damage. From this hit, I could tell he was offensive Life Orbed Clefable, which I predicted. I go for the Mystical Fire in case he wants to go into his Porygon 2 to get damage off. So I killed a Clefable, which is nice. So now he has Gallade in. Gallade can kill me with basically any hit, even knockoff kills based on the HP I'm at right now. So a pretty safe switch in is to my Celesteela, because he's not going to go for the close combat here, and any move plus close combat won't kill my Celesteela. So he goes for the Zen Headbutt, and based on this damage, I know that he's Adamant, so that's good information to know. It's going to do more damage to my team, Now I'm going to go for the lead seed, assuming that I could have killed him with a flying MZ, so he didn't want to risk that. I wanted to wear down the Stunfisk or the Porygon 2 switch in. He goes for the Yawn here, but I get a little bit of chip. I take off a fourth of damage from the Stunfisk, which is a very good information for me to have, as I'll let you know later on in the match. But I don't want to go to sleep here, even though I really don't want rocks up on the field. So if he goes for rocks on that turn, I want to go into Mismagius and then threaten this team with either a Shadow Ball or a Nasty Plot. And also, if he stayed in with Stunfisk, I could get a little bit of more health with my Mismagius to the point where knockoff wouldn't kill from the Gallade. So you would have to, and Zen Headbutt would be a high roll to kill. So you would have to be wary of that. But I go with my Mismagius. I'm going to allow him to kill me. The crit didn't matter. Zen Headbutt would have killed. This gives me a free switch in a Dragonite because rocks are not up on the field. I could Dragon Dance because I know I can live a plus any Ice Punch even from Adamant. So I go for the +1. I really have no reason to go for the +2 here, so I'm going to do so. He goes for the Ice Beam as I predicted, and activates my weakness policy, so I should be in pretty good shape. But he freezes me. And this will basically lose me the game here, because really Celesteela has a decent matchup in the rest of the game, but Stunfisk is still at really high health, and the only way I can really get third is Venusaur, and he has Latias plus Porygon 2 plus Gallade to pressure my Venusaur at this point. So that's going to be unfortunate there. He got the freeze. I felt like I had a pretty good shape to win the game at this point, but it happens. But luckily, I actually thaw out and kill with a superpower. So that's great right there. I think it's like 20% chance to unthaw, though it was a 10% chance of freeze to begin with. But the freeze would have probably justified my whole tournament and the luck that I've had so far. So I'm very fortunate for that. Goes my Therathorn. I know he's going to switch, but there's no point in me over predicting, because a superpower or Dragon Claw, either one of them, will kill a Stunfisk at +3. The minimum roll is like 77%. So the 2 lead seed recoveries actually put me in a shape where Dragonite kills at this range, which is very nice. I don't have to risk the double paralysis chance there with static. And I don't get it, which is nice. Goes into Ferrothorn. Again, he'll probably go into either Gallade or Latias. He goes into Latias. He takes a superpower here. So I'm at +1 attack, and I kill with the Dragon Claw here. Now, at this point in the match, I'll pause here. So I'm at +1 attack and +2 speed against the Ferrothorn. And the Dragon Claw I did, I thought it was just another superpower, so I thought I was at neutral attack. And a neutral attack Dragonite superpower does like 55, 60-ish% to the Ferrothorn, and that's not a ton of damage, and I wasn't too happy with that. So I actually switch here. But being a +1 attack, the superpower did like 80, 90-ish%. And 80, 90-ish% would be a good value, because he has to attack me and kill me with a Gyro Ball here, assuming he has it. When he does that, I go into my Celesteela, click Flamethrower, that kills the Therathorn, or if he switches predicting the Flamethrower and goes into Gallade, that'll be enough chip where Fly MZ knocks out the Gallade. I guess from there he could switch again into Gallade and the Therathorn predicting the Fly Z, and at that rate I would have just regular Fly to deal with the Gallade. But even then, a Fly from the Gallade, plus the damage from my team with Venusaur, I should be able to win the game at that point. But I don't do that, and I actually switch out. So that was a really bad play by me. Oh, man. Yeah, that's not a normal play coming out of me. So I go for the Flamethrower. I still do a ton of damage to this Ferrothorn, and he Thunder Waves me. So this is another way I could lose the game here. If I get parried on the Gallade, and he Swords Dances, he basically wins the game at this point. So I don't want that to happen, so I switch into my my Gallade. And let me go back to where I was. I'm still at a decent amount of damage where an Atom in close combat is not going to kill me from this range. So that's good to know, but a +2 would kill me. So that's why I switch into Venusaur here. He actually doubles into the Gallade, which is interesting, but it works out for him. Sludge Bomb's not going to do a ton. He gets a Swords Dance up here. But I figured at this point, based on the HP I was at with a Celesteela, he can't knock me out at a +2 with Drain Punch. He has to go for the close combat here. And if he goes for the close combat, then a Dragonite can kill with -1 defense with extreme speed. So he does go for the close combat, which knocks out my Celesteela. But my Dragonite can come in, click extreme speed, which was something he did not expect. And I win the game here at this point because Superpower finally kills the Therathorn. So I really misplayed that at the end. I guess I didn't pay attention that I had the +1 attack on the Therathorn instead of neutral attack. But luckily I was able to pull out that win there. I think that was probably an upset match to most people, even though I thought I had a lot better of a team matchup against Jake. So good game. I'll be going on to the round of 32, where I'm pretty sure I have to face another Therathorn, which is something I don't want to see. But until next time, later guys.